intelligence.
The flame of a candle.
The flame of a candle.
Eva, like Vayuna, by the wind. Bruhi, please tell. Etat, this. Adbhutatamam, most wonderful. Bhagavan, possessing all knowledge. He, indeed. Patra, here. Karanam, the cause. Translation. This matter is undoubtedly very wonderful indeed. My intelligence has become disturbed, just as the flame of a candle is disturbed by a blowing wind. O Narada Muni, you know everything. Kindly let me know the cause of this wonderful event. Purport. The Shastras enjoin Tat Vijnana Tam Sakumum Ivan Pachit. When one is perplexed by the difficult problems of life, to solve them one must approach a guru like Narada or his representative in the disciplic succession. Maharaj Yudhishthira therefore requested Narada to explain the cause for such a wonderful event. Etat brahmyaki vibhutir dipachir iva vayuna bruhitat adbhutam tamam bhagavan hyatra karami. This matter is undoubtedly very wonderful. Indeed, my intelligence has become disturbed, just as the flame of a candle is disturbed by the blowing wind. O Narada Muni, you know everything. Kindly let me know the cause of this wonderful event. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Krishnaya Mukare Shrimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Tanani Namaste Saraswati Gaura Prachayani Nirvishesha Shrimad Bhaktivedanta Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram. If I'm not mistaken, then this is the conversation where Krishna explains Shishupal, how he merged into the body. Is that correct? And so this happened at the time of the Rajasuya sacrifice, the coronation of Yudhishthira, or the glorification of Yudhishthira, coronation, whatever. So everyone assembled, watched as Shishupal's the soul from Shishupal's departed, or his beheaded body, it merged with Krishna's body. So Yudhishthira is here inquiring from Narada Muni about such a wonderful thing, because Shishupal, he was, from the time of his birth, basically, as soon as he could speak, he was engaged in blaspheming Krishna. The first thing he said, I won't repeat it here, but the first thing he said was blasphemy of Krishna. We all know the wonderful events that took place before, in the previous yugas, that Jaya and Vijaya had been cursed to take birth 3 times in the material world. So the 2 doorkeepers of Vaikuntha, Jaya and Vijaya, they are very powerful servants of the Lord. So they took they went to the material world 3 times, And in the third incarnation, or in their third birth in the material world, they appeared as Dantavakra and Shishupala. And Shishupala, he was very envious of Krishna, just like Kamsa. Kamsa, he was somehow or other, he was excused. Somehow or other, it was justified. Because he had been, we know that he had been warned that the eighth child of devotee would kill him. So this is natural self-preservation. If somehow or other we hear that someone's going to kill us, naturally we have a right to defend ourselves. We have a right to defend ourselves. But for Shishupala, it was not like that. He was not in any way. He wasn't warned. He wasn't, threatened in any way. So this was in Shishupala's cause. In Shishupala's, in his case, it was pure enviousness. So Narada Muni, he is here, as it's been explained, his mind, he's saying, is just like the flame of a candle disturbed by a blowing wind. But we must understand that Maharaj Yudhisthira is not a conditioned soul. This morning we read from Nectar of Devotion. Anyone can remember what we read there?
Yeah, there was different kinds of bhakti. There was practicing, and then there was what was the wording? Ecstatic.
Yes.
And pure love of God.
Exactly. So there's three types of devotional service. And Maharaj Yudhisthira, he's not in the first category. He's not practicing devotional service. So disturbance of the mind appears in a person who is practicing devotional service, who's on that level. It's also called sadhana bhakti. But Maharaj Yudhisthira, even though Prabhupada, he explains in the purport here, he says that disturbance of the mind happens when one is perplexed by the difficult problems of life, in material life. Then there's disturbance of mind. But the cause for Maharaj Yudhisthira's mind being disturbed is because of ecstasy. He is ecstatic because he's seeing that even though this very sinful person who blasphemed Krishna non-stop, and everyone witnessed how he blasphemed 100 times. 100 times. Everyone present at the Rajasuya sacrifice, they were, of course, except for Duryodhana, Tushasha, and Shakuni, these personalities, then the rest, all the pious kings, they were ready, they were standing ready with their arms, and they were ready to chop off the head of Shishupala, because they couldn't tolerate this. They couldn't tolerate that Krishna was being blasphemed. So Krishna, he allowed him to blaspheme 100 times, and then it was his last incarnation. So the cause for Maharaj Yudhisthira's bewilderment is not that he was a conditioned soul. It's not that his mind was disturbed because he was bewildered by the three modes of material nature. This is very important to understand. But it was because he was witnessing Krishna's great mercy. The example of Shishupal, when mentioned, often this verse from Bhagavad Gita is quoted. Samoham sarvabhuteshu namiteshu stinapriyam ye bhajanti mam vacha maite iteshu chatyam. Krishna, he says that he is not partial to anyone, that he is equal to all. So this is a part of this is a part of, or this is contained. This verse is contained in Maharaj Yudhishthira's inquiry to Narada. This apparent contradiction in Krishna, that he is at the same time he says in the Bhagavad Gita that he is equal to all, but then on one side we see that he is very kind to his devotees, but on the other side he is king. So this is bewildering, this seemingly contradiction, that when Krishna, he says that he is equal to everyone, that some he is treating nicely, some he is his bhaktas, he's called Bhakta Vatsala. Krishna is called Bhakta Vatsala. So Bhakta Vatsala means that he is the protector, that he gives protection to his devotees. We know from Bhagavad Gita also. So there is no, in the answer of Narada Muni will answer. So there is no contradiction in Krishna's nature. And we can understand this because, in fact, the fact is that Shishupal, he's here, he's entering into the body of Krishna. And even though he deserved to die, but he attained liberation in this cause. And that can be bewildering to many, because why is it that so many people in this material world, they're blaspheming God, they're doing so many things that is very harmful. It is very harmful. They're creating so much disturbance. Killing is going on. Blaspheming of God like this. Practically everywhere. It's the fashion. So why this is so? And all these people, they don't get a nice destination. This is bewildering. Why is Krishna, he is giving some are giving liberation, others are, it seems as if he's judgmental, it seems that he is unstable, it seems Krishna is judging and he's giving judgment according to whim. But the simple fact is that here we hear the next couple of verses, we hear from Narada Muni that blasphemy, praise, chastisement and respect is all there in the material world because of bodily conception of life. There. We give respect to a rich person, and the gypsy in the walking street in Copenhagen, we don't give respect. But on the spiritual platform, and from Krishna's point of view, then Shishupal, first of all, we know it's Leela. He had taken his 3 births. He had been cursed. And so the karma, this was the last bit of the karma, the chopping off the head. This was the last bit of purification that was going to take place, because when someone is cursed by satyrs like the powerful, the 4 Kumaras, then it is a material reaction. It's a material reaction, and like we know from Bhagavad Gita, Marchas, Parshas, to Kaunteya, Sitoshna, Sugatugada, Agama, Painomitas, Tamasvitiksha, Svabhavata. That there is summer and winter season, and so there is pain and there is pleasure in this material world. But a self-controlled person, a sober person, he simply tolerates this. So this is the process of Bhakti Yoga. The process of Bhakti Yoga is there to simply learn us, teach us to tolerate. We have not been cursed by the 4 Kumaras, but we have basically cursed ourselves by our activities in lifetime after lifetime. And we're very fortunate that we, from Brahma's perspective, that we have this opportunity in one day of Brahma. Basically, we have one opportunity to engage in the service of Krishna. And we see like the sons of Kubera also. We have just been singing the song Damodarasta cursed, that they were also cursed. And but the curse of the difference between the curse that we are putting on ourselves and the curse from a great devotee is that the curse from a great devotee, it contains also a blessing. Because a pure devotee, he only he sees everything from the perspective of Krishna, and he wants, in fact, only to engage all living entities in devotional service. So, for this, purification must take place. This is the cause of a curse uttered from the mouth of the pure devotees. It contains purification, and it also, the goal will be that we will be able to get Krishna. So then we can wonder, okay, then let me blaspheme Krishna 24 hours a day, non-stop. Let me blaspheme Krishna. So of course, there is a devotional service, and this actually is proved by Shishupal, the example of Shishupal, that he was chanting the name of Krishna. And for this reason, he was being purified. So even though he was blaspheming Krishna, the blasphemous nature was killed when he lost his head. And the purification was taking place all the while. This actually gives us great hope that even a character like Shishupal, that even though there was 99% blaspheming and there was 1% Nam, then the power of the holy name is so strong. Sometimes we can wonder when we are chanting our rounds and our mind is like a flame of a candle in a tornado or something like that. And we can take shelter. The process of bhakti yoga means to take shelter on many different levels. But with our intelligence, we can understand that from this example, that the chanting of Hare Krishna, that the uttering of the name Krishna is very powerful. It is purifying. But due to our previous sinful activities, our own the curse we have put on ourselves, we are influenced by the three modes of nature. Aham mameti. That we think ourselves the doer of our activities. Everything is according to I, me, and mine. Prakriti, Priyamanadi, Unaikari, Sadhana, Ahankara. Vimuthatma. It's a stupid, terrible, foolish person under the influence of Ahankara. He thinks himself the doers of activities that are in fact carried out by the modes of material nature. So, this is the cause for our disturbance. But the process of bhakti yoga gives shelter. Gives us shelter. So we have to learn to take shelter of the process. And the cause of our continuing disturbance is that we are not taking shelter. It's not because the process is lagging. It's not because Krishna has forgotten us or is not ready to forgive us. It is simply because we don't have faith in the process. We don't have faith that by chanting the holy names of Krishna, that we can be delivered and that we can gradually, that we can come to a platform of peacefulness and freedom from modes of material nature. We don't have faith in that yet. But the process of bhakti yoga is about practicing sadhana, or as we learn, practice. And it is more important is to engage or to associate with persons who does have faith. That is more important. More important is actually, of course, we have to practice bhakti yoga ourselves, but more important is to associate with persons who does have that faith. And that's the whole reason for, like here, Maharaj Yudhishthira, he approaches Narada. Maharaj Yudhishthira is eternally liberated. We are eternally conditioned since time immemorial, untraceable. That long time ago, we have been conditioned by the modes of material nature. But the process of bhakti yoga is that one must take association of devotees with strong faith, because their realizations, meaning that association means that one must do service, give service. Tadvini pranipadena pariprasrina sivaya. And one must give service. Prashnena sivaya. One must give service, serve, and then one must inquire. These two things must be there. Without that, one cannot, by one's own endeavor, it is not possible. It's not possible. Because we are too conditioned. So we are struggling with listening, we're struggling with hearing the holy name, we're struggling to get up in the morning, we're struggling to stay awake while chanting, we're struggling to focus our mind on the process of bhakti yoga. We have a problem with our mind being disturbed when we lose things. So the process of Bhakti Yoga is there to bring us up to a spiritual platform, free from all this distress, and so practically, the process of Bhakti Yoga starts at the time of initiation, because at the time of initiation, one surrenders to the process. Before that, there is some independence still. Of course, after initiation, there's also independence. But one, at the time of initiation, one takes vows that are meant to last for the rest of our life. So when we take a lifetime vow and we conclude it also, then we do our part. That is our part of the deal. So Krishna, he will take care of the rest. And that we must have faith in. We must have faith in that the process will work. But it's not just that we have to sit down and chant Hare Krishna. This is, of course, part of it. But there is factors. Factors must be there. One very important factor for clearance of the mind is there that we cannot access Krishna on our own. We cannot approach Krishna on our own. Example is there that now I was traveling around South India, and it's 36, 37 in the shade. And the land, Kerala, it actually means the land of coconut trees. So what it is when it's so hot, 36, 37, a natural occurrence is thirst. You are thirsty. So you're traveling around and you're thirsty. And there's so many coconut trees. What is the problem?
Getting up.
Problem is that coconut is up there. Coconut tree is 50, 20 meters tall. You can't get them. Water is hanging, nice, sweet, cool, and tasty water is hanging out there. But you cannot approach. You cannot approach them. So you must have a qualified person. A qualified person that can take the coconut down, and not just take it down, but he must also be able to chop it open without losing his fingers, with a machete, chop, 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 and then the last bit, and that's it. And you put the stone, and you can get. Similarly, the pure devotee, he is the spiritual master, he's also there. And it's his service to, when we approach with the right mentality of service and inquiry, that he is giving the Vedic knowledge. He gives the import, the essence. Because we can see that people, even though they have Bhagavad Gita, even though they have read all the Vedas and know it, by heart, not by heart, but by memory, they know it, and they know it they can read it, recite them backwards and forwards, and